Do you struggle to take everything you know, everything you've built, and turn it into an offer ecosystem that people actually understand and want to buy? You have the expertise, you have the ideas, but getting all of that out of your head and into offers that connect, speak to the right people, sell with ease, and actually grow your business, that's a whole different skill set. And that's exactly what this show is about. Welcome to the Offer Mojo Show. I'm Lori Young, offer strategist and creator of the Offer Mojo framework. I help coaches and expert led business owners package their expertise into offers you love and buyers actually crave. Because when your offers finally click, everything else gets easier. Let's get into it. This episode is about the moment I almost created a brand new offer for a bundle I'm part of this summer and then caught myself. I'll walk you through why more offers almost never solve the problem you think they're solving, what an offer ecosystem actually is, and a real client story about a woman who came to me with a bloated offer suite and no clear sense of what she wanted to be known for. By the end, you'll have a simple question to ask about every single offer you currently have. So, a couple weeks ago, I was getting ready for a bundle that I'm participating in this summer, and I caught myself starting to build a brand new offer for it. Not because I needed one, because it felt like a fun thing to do when a new opportunity shows up. New bundle, new offer, right? But I stopped myself mid build and thought, why? I already have something good that I can offer. Why am I about to build a whole new thing when I could just use what I already have? Thank God that question stopped me because I've been trying to simplify my life this summer, not complicate it with more offers and more funnels to build. And there I was, about to do the exact opposite out of habit. So, if you've ever caught yourself building something new just because an opportunity showed up and it felt like you should have something ready for it, I want to talk to you today because this happens to almost every one of my clients, and it's the thing we're cleaning out this summer. Let's clear a couple beliefs out of the way first, though, because I don't think we can talk about offer count without calling out what's really underneath it. There's a fear that a lot of us are carrying that we don't want to admit. It's this idea that if you have more offers, you have more chances. More things on the shelf means more chances someone says yes to something. And I get why this feels true, but it's actually the opposite. The more things you put in front of someone, the more decision fatigue they feel. And decision fatigue doesn't lead to more sales, it leads to nothing. People freeze, they close the tab, they say, I'll think about it, and they never come back. There's also the sunk cost trap. You built an offer, you spent time on it, maybe you got certified in something to make it possible, maybe you designed the workbook, built the sales page, recorded the videos, and now it exists, so it must belong, right? Wrong. Just because you built it doesn't mean it belongs in your ecosystem right now. That's a hard one to hear, I know, but it's true. The time you already spent isn't a reason to keep something alive. It's just the reason it's hard to let go. And I think there's a third belief underneath both of those, which is the idea that niching down or narrowing your offers will erase what makes you special. I hear this one a lot. Coaches and experts worry that if they simplify, they'll lose the very thing that makes their work unique. But it's the opposite of what happens. Narrowing your offers doesn't erase your brilliance, it gives your brilliance a place to be seen. So, before we go any further, I want to give you permission. A clean out is not a punishment. It's not you like admitting that you failed at something. It's actually relief. It's the exhale that happens when you can finally look at your offer suite and say, this is what I do. This is who it's for. This is how someone works with me. Okay, Now, let's talk about what too many offers actually cost you because it's more than just a confusing website. The obvious cost is the buyer's experience. When someone lands on your site and sees she does this and she does that and she also does this, they don't feel impressed. They feel overwhelmed. And overwhelmed people don't buy, they leave. But here's the cost that doesn't get talked about enough, it's harder on you. Every offer you have is something you have to market, something you have to manage, something you have to deliver well. Each one is a promise you have to keep. So when you have 8 offers, you don't just have 8 things to sell. You have 8 things to explain, 8 delivery systems to maintain, 8 different sets of client expectations to manage, and 8 different promises pulling at your time and attention. No wonder it feels exhausting. No wonder you feel like you're running a business with your hair on fire half the time. This is exactly why I don't believe in the just have one offer advice that gets thrown around a lot. That sounds clean in theory, but I don't make offer decisions based on the number of offers. I think in ecosystems. What's the actual path you're taking a client on through your business? And what offers does it take to build the business you want? So let's define that word because I use it a lot. An offer ecosystem is a clear strategic path of products or services that guide someone through your business without confusion. If you want the plain version, it's just simply how people buy your expertise, how you make money, and how you scale without burning yourself out doing it. Done well, it's also how you amplify what you know, keep clients longer, and charge premium prices. And inside that ecosystem, not every offer needs to be public. Some offers are pop up offers, things that you open occasionally for a specific moment or an audience. And some are back end offers, things that exist to support the ecosystem but aren't meant to be marketed publicly. It's okay to have offshoots. I'm just saying when you're publicly speaking about your business on your website, in your bio, keep it simpler because the more things you give people to look at, the more indecisive they get. Now, I want to tell you about a client that I'm working with right now because she's such a clear example of everything I just said. She had an extremely successful career in corporate America, top level executive. And she was in the middle of her own identity transformation, evolving from that corporate leader into an executive coach who integrates a lot of spiritual and energetic work into how she serves her people. She was standing at a real threshold. Who was she becoming? And what was she being called to do in the world? And when she started her business, she wasn't exactly sure who she was serving, what she wanted to be known for, or how she was going to make her greatest impact. So she did what a lot of us do in that spot. She experimented. She earned certification after certification. She built offer after offer. By the time she came to me, she had a lot of half started ideas and a bloated offer suite with no grounded positioning underneath any of it. Free tools were scattered everywhere, multiple paid entry points that all did slightly different things and also slightly overlapped with each other. A flagship program with layers added on top of layers, a group offering, a retreat, a private immersion experience, talk of an ongoing partnership offer for her most invested clients, even the beginning of a plan to teach her methods to other coaches. None of this came from a scattered mind. It came from a deeply gifted practitioner who kept discovering new tools in new depth in her own healing and leadership work. And she wanted to bring every bit of it to her clients. That instinct is beautiful. And it's real expertise and real generosity behind every single one of those ideas. What she didn't have yet was the architecture to hold them. So the first thing that we did was nail her core positioning. Who specifically was she talking to? What was the core struggle they were dealing with? And what was the transformation that she felt called to create? And once that was in place, we went through her offers one at a time and asked a simple question about each one. We found that a lot of them didn't belong in her public ecosystem, not because they were bad offers, but because they weren't serving the specific path she was building for her specific client. Some of those offers got retired outright. Others got slotted as back end offers or occasional pop up offers, things that she can open for the right moment without them cluttering her main path. We're still working through it, but the shape that's emerging is a trust building offer, her flagship program, a VIP experience, and eventually a licensing or certification track where she can teach her process to other coaches. Everything else gets retired or becomes something that lives in the background, supporting those core offers without needing its own spotlight, its own launch, or its own page on her website. She's not a simpler practitioner now. She has the same depth, the same range, the same expertise. What changed is that the market can finally see the path. Before we get to the gut check, I want to talk about the one thing every offer ecosystem needs because none of this works without it. You need a flagship offer. Some people call it a core offer, some call it a signature offer. I use these words interchangeably, so don't get hung up on the label. What matters is what it does. Your flagship is the vehicle that your primary transformation moves through. It's where your intellectual property actually lives, the method, the framework, the thing only you teach in exactly the way you teach it. And it's the foundational offer that everything else in your ecosystem gets built from. That's why my client's flagship program was the one piece we never questioned. It was already working, it was already delivering the transformation she's known for. Our job wasn't to replace it, our job was to build the right things around it and retire or move to the back end everything that wasn't in service of it. So if you don't have a flagship offer yet, that's your actual starting point before you add anything else to your suite. And if you do have one, everything I'm about to walk you through gets measured against it. So here's the question I want you to ask about every offer you currently have. Does this offer move someone toward my flagship offer, or does it support a client after they've already been through my flagship? If the answer is no, ask a second question. Is it still serving a strategic purpose in my ecosystem as a pop up offer or a back end offer that's aligned with my core transformation and positioning? And if the answer to that is also no, it's not a someday offer, it's a hard stop. Now, now that you know what stays and what goes, the next question is what type of ecosystem you're building. And that comes down to a few real factors. The first is the stage of business that you're in. Early on, your ecosystem should be simple, a freebie that leads straight to your core offer, nothing else yet. That's not you playing small. That's just exactly the right amount of ecosystem for where you are, and you don't earn extra credit for having more moving parts before you need them. It's only going to bog you down because in the early stages of your business, what's really most important is that you can validate your flagship offer. The second factor is the rate of growth that you want. And I mean the rate you actually want, not the rate that you think you're supposed to want. If steady recurring revenue is the goal, your shape probably includes something ongoing that keeps clients close after the core offer. If you want fewer, deeper relationships instead of more clients, your shape probably builds towards a high touch premium tier rather than a wider funnel. The third factor is how your people want to experience you. Some audiences want community and connection woven around the work. Others just want the transformation quickly. And the fourth factor is whether you're building towards scale, which might eventually mean something done for you or licensed out to other practitioners, the way my client is heading with her certification track. None of these factors have one right answer. There's no universal correct ecosystem. There's only the one that matches where you are and where you're actually trying to go. Once you can see the shape that you're building toward, you'll probably notice a gap, a stage missing, a piece that isn't there yet. That's when the real question shows up. Do you need to build something new to fill it, or do you already have something that could work there? Before you build anything, ask yourself that second question first. My own bundle moment from the top of this episode is the exact example. I almost built new when I already had exactly what I needed. A new offer only earns its place when there's a real gap in your ecosystem, not just because a good idea showed up in the middle of the night. That's when all my great ideas happen anyway. So here's what I want you to do in the next day or two. Sit down and define in one sentence what you want to be known for. Then look at every offer you currently have and ask if it aligns with that. That's it. That's the foundation everything else gets built on. And if you get to that point and you realize you can't answer it clearly, or you're not sure which offers fit together, that's exactly what the Offer Clarity Duo is built for. It's Grace and Elliot, my offer strategist and offer ecosystem architect. And together, they help you get clear on your niche, name your core specialty, and map out an aligned offer suite that supports the business you're building. You'll walk away knowing which offers fit your strategy, which ones don't, and you get a real plan for what comes next. It's normally a back-end offer I only open at selected times, but it's open right now exclusively for you because you're listening to this episode. And imagine having that kind of business clarity for under $100 in just a few hours of your time. I'm going to drop the link to that in the show notes. I want you to feel the relief of this offer cleanout, not the shame of realizing that you built too much, but the relief of finally seeing the path clearly for you and for the people you're meant to serve. All right, my friend, like always, please leave a review or forward this episode to someone who needs to hear it. Maybe a business friend you know could really learn from this. I will see you in the next episode.